So everybody had enough to eat? Yeah? So what'd you think? Was it good? Yeah. The best thing is you don't have to worry about what it died from. And you know, today a bunch of people are barbecuing, and that does not even appeal to me. And so you can thank yourself for making a good choice to come to the best meal on the island. Right here at Sun Village. Who would have thought that the best meal on the whole island this weekend is right here? And so, well, I know, I would have thought it too, because I know we got some great cooks here, and we had some great food, even though we didn't have that many. If somebody could just do a head count, that would be great, because I want to get a report to the Vegetarian Society in Oahu. You don't have to do it right now, but just because I counted earlier, but some more people came in toward the end. 23? Okay. Thank you. So thank you for all the good food you brought. If you didn't happen to bring any food, we try to encourage people to do a small donation. The donation box is over there of $10 per person. And believe me, it's the cheapest meal you can eat and the best meal you can eat for $10 on this island. And all those donations go to help the Vegetarian Society to keep going, because that's how we survive, is mainly through donations and through memberships. We get a lot more memberships than we do donations, but the donation encourages people to actually bring food, because a lot of people would rather bring food and try to win the best dish than they would to pay $10. Yeah. So either way, it's a win-win situation, because you can win, and it's a lot easier to win when there's less people here. So that's one good thing about not being as many. We have about a third as many as we usually have that we've had earlier in the year. And part of that is the weekend. Part of it probably is a big birthday party going on that a bunch of people are at. And also we've just lost momentum. But hopefully we're going to pick it up again. Amen. We got to regain what we lost. So I want to make a few announcements. The first one has to do with the best dish. And I want Hannah, who is so kind, to come up here to judge for us. And she was actually glad that there wasn't any more dishes. So I want her to tell us the winner and also why that dish won. So here, Hannah, and that person needs to come up here, and then we need somebody with a camera to take a picture. So if somebody could do that. I have my phone. Maybe you want to take it, Jamie? Because we're going to send this to the Vegetarian Society. Here's my phone. Are you going to use your iPod? So we have to send the recipe and the picture to Oahu, and they'll put it in the newsletter. So here.
This is really difficult, and I'm very grateful I hardly know any of you, so I don't have to look at anybody. It was really, really hard. There were so many delicious things. My choice was the curried ulu salad, and the runner-up was the chimichurri bread. It was very, very hard for me to decide between those two. The reason I chose the ulu salad was my own personal criteria for vegan dishes is that they can be served in any venue anywhere in the world, and people will say, this is delicious. It doesn't matter if they're vegetarian or not, they would say, this is great. The ulu salad had a creaminess. It was using a local ingredient that we have an abundance of, which I think is wonderful. And it tasted like a comfort food, but it also had a very sophisticated balance. So that was why I chose that. And the chimichurri bread was superb. The quality, the texture, the flavoring was just amazing.
Thank you, Hannah. Hopefully you can come again.
Yeah.
Yes. So where is our winner? We need you up here. Who made the ulu? Hopefully you didn't. Robert! You're hiding behind the camera. Good job. All right. All right. Well, great, Robert. It's the first time you've won, right?
I think first time, yes.
Yes. So we have a little gift for you from John and PJ from Eat Healthy Restaurant. So there you are. There's a $25 gift certificate.
We love
Yes.
We had a wonderful breakfast.
So I'm so glad you won, Robert. All right. And you just never know what the judge is going to pick. So, I have made something in less than 30 minutes, just, and hardly had any time. I just threw it together and I won one time. So, you don't have to always do a big, long recipe and take lots of time to make something and win. So it just depends on what the judge likes that day. So thank you, Hannah, for helping us. And I have a few other announcements. The first thing I want to announce is some of you were not here when Michelle did her talk in May, which was an excellent talk. It was the first talk that we filmed, and it's on our station. We have a YouTube station now, thanks to Robert, and Robert's our camera guy. He does professional video, and we have people from Oahu telling us that the video production that we're doing here is better than what they're doing in Oahu. And we just started doing this in May and June, so we only have 2 videos on our YouTube channel. But the first one was one of the best talks we've had here, and that was with Michelle LeMay, who I guess is at that birthday party today, but she is one of our volunteers. And she actually found something like 60-some places on the island that are vegetarian options, or they're vegan, from all the way from the North Shore to the West Side. And I happen to have one copy of that, which maybe Janie can put on the table. And I can email it to anybody else. And it's all people say, well, where do we, she dispelled all the myths, And one of the myths was it's hard to find restaurants with vegetarian food. And she dispelled that because these are all places. She went and looked at all the menus, and these places I didn't even know about, So there's a whole bunch of them on there. Then we also have the Vegetarian Society list, and I have some of these copied off. I have about 5. These are all the places in Kauai where if you become a member, you can save between 5 and 15% off by showing your card. So it actually pays to be a member. Membership is only $25 a year. If you're a student, it's even less. It's like $15. Website is vsh.org. If you're not on our email list and you'd like to be, because that's one of the main ways people find out about the Vegetarian Society, there's a sign-up sheet there, and you can just put your email and your name, first and last, so I can read it, and we can add you to the email list. We have 280 people on our email list, but unfortunately, only 30% people open their email. So, I mean, that's not the only way people find out, and some of you may have found out through the newspaper for Kauai, Midweek Kauai, Garden Island. It's, we advertise it in many places, and also flyers all over the island. Which leads me to the next announcement is we always need volunteers. So if any of you would like to help out with the Vegetarian Society, we have things that you could do. And so if you could talk to me later, if that interests you. And we're just trying to encourage people to do one thing, and do one thing well, not do a whole bunch of stuff, So if everybody helps and does something that they're good at, then it will be more successful. The other thing is we are going to have a dine out again, and I just was notified by our dine out coordinator, who's not here today, Walt Weiss, and that's going to be in October sometime. And that's another reason you might want to have your email if you wanted to come to that. He's working on a discount for group rate at Verde Restaurant. And they have a new restaurant over by Safeway in the Hui, which might be where he's thinking, plus they have the one in Kapaa. So I think that's all the announcements. I want to thank everyone who helped out in judging and helping set up and ahead of time cleaning up, because if we all help cleaning up, or whoever can, we can make many hands makes light work. I want to introduce our speaker, and at this time, and have Gisela come up. Gisela is got an amazing story, and I don't want to take too much from her story, but I don't want to introduce her anyway. And basically, her topic is vegan. Does it equal skinny or healthy? And she she's trying to help us understand that just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're skinny or healthy. Most people believe just eating a vegan diet guarantees a person will be healthy and skinny. This assumption is flawed in many ways and is based on outdated information. During the last 12 years, Gisela made it her passion to learn and share what are the ultimate healing foods. By altering a deep-rooted belief system of lies received from the American society, Gisela will share from both her own experience and research what helped her to regain her health. Gisela will share many solid reasons to motivate and transition us to a healthier lifestyle for lasting results. She will inspire you to be your own advocate and to start on your own path to healing. So I want us to welcome her. She's got a fan club that came today to support her. And this is the first time that she has spoken. So, you know, it's actually a great opportunity for her to share and also to get experience. But I know she'll do well. Also, I was going to mention that she was supposed to speak 2 months in a row. And so now it's the third month that she was supposed to speak, and now she's finally speaking. So this anticipation has been building. Yes. Because she has an amazing story, and it has something to do with these pictures, and that's all I want to say. Okay? So thank you, Gisela.
Well, thank you all for being here. My name is Gisela, and I'm extremely nervous. Sharing my story with all of you. I hope to inspire somebody to take the journey of health. My story started back in 2001. I was here on vacation, and with my husband, my late husband, and we loved this island. It was so beautiful, and we wanted to take a lot of excursions, but due to health issues, we couldn't do a lot of the hikes that we wanted to do. So this is a picture right here of me back in 2001. Very overweight. Like I said, I couldn't take any of those hikes that we really wanted to do to see all of the beauty this island has. So further on down the road, first off, maybe I should say that I'm German and grew up on meat and potatoes. Vegetables as well, but mainly meat and potatoes. So my background is like anyone else's, I'm sure. You know, you grow up on meat. That's a standard thing. But when your health declines, then you start to wonder, is that really what I should be eating? So fast forward to 2006, my husband passed away of heart disease, and that kind of threw me into a spiral of my body kind of shut down. I had a lot of health issues, allergies, constipation, you name it. There was a lot of things that were wrong with my body. So when he passed away, of course, everything then escalated because you're under stress, you're under mourning, grieving. So you try to figure things out. You try to eliminate, at least that's what I ended up doing. I tried the process of elimination and started with gluten, got rid of the gluten, and that helped. But anything I seemed to consume at that point, my body just really didn't want to accept it. Revolted almost. I was in so much pain that I felt like I really couldn't eat anything but just drink. So I really needed to get serious about finding out what I could eat. And yeah, there's so much information and so much misinformation out there as well that it's really hard to figure out what the truth is. Then, I kind of just started praying too and asking for the truth to come to me. And that's what I think happened. I came across people that guided me. I came across information on the internet, movies, documentaries. Forks Over Knives was a big one for me. There's since a lot of other good ones that have come out. Then I found a nutritional coach that was plant-based, and she guided me and helped me also to figure out that, just because something says it's plant-based doesn't necessarily mean that it is truly healthy, because there's still a lot of additives, a lot of sugar, processed sugars that are not favorable in when you're trying to become healthy for our system. Then you got all those names that are like, I don't know how long, and then you can't pronounce them. So at least I started thinking, well, if I can't pronounce something that I'm eating, why would I want to eat that? Is it really good for me? So it just was a long process, and even once I went vegan and thought I was getting healthier, and I did lose some weight, I still didn't feel as good as I had hoped I would feel. It took me about 3 years to figure out and find the right people and the right information to really get past a certain place and really eliminate some health problems that I was still having, even though I was eating plant-based. So there's a long process that I feel like now I've got a handle on things and know exactly what my body needs. We're in a time of information where we're bombarded with information daily, actually. And to really sift through the good stuff is quite challenging. So it helps to have somebody that has gone through it that you can maybe look up to and kind of emulate. And that's kind of what my food coach did for me. She taught me how to look at labels and really only find the stuff that has minimal ingredients, and I can pronounce all of those ingredients. Now I've actually gone even further and become mostly a raw vegan. I do still eat occasional cooked foods, but I notice that I feel that much better eating raw because of the enzymes that are still intact in the food. It just helps me feel a lot more energetic, and I feel like I can go all day and not really have to sleep when I'm truly all raw. So there's that. There are many different types of vegans that eat still processed and eat still a lot of sugary foods, and that's fine. But if they truly ask themselves, do I really feel vibrant? I wonder if there could still be an improvement, because that is what happened to me. So I just figured, I was following my nutritional coach, and she's still eating a lot of cooked foods, and I love that. I follow a lot of her recipes still, and but for me, the raw seems to be the better choice. But okay, I'm rambling now. I'm sorry, you guys.
You're doing great.
Well, I want to ask, is there any questions that you guys might have? Because I kind of need a little.
Do you have to take some supplements to kind of give you whatever you're not getting in other foods you've eliminated?
Good question.
Repeat the question.
Supplements, does you have to take some?
Do I have to take supplements for eliminating things? I don't. I thought so in the beginning too, but I have since found that, supplements are also $1 billion industry. So they really just are there to sell you a product. Very few of them are really in it to process the stuff to where it does benefit your body and your body can absorb it. So there's a big science behind that as well. It's all about your body being able to absorb what you then are supplementing it for. Yeah, a lot of, not always do I get every nutrition that I need on a daily basis, but I really try to focus on what I know that I need. Like greens are a big must, like kale and arugula. Those combined with fruits and stuff, that pretty much covers all of the nutritional needs that are needed when you're a vegan, like B's and omegas and yeah. Anyone else?
When you had, like, the illness, and then you started to change your diet,
Yeah.
two questions really. Was it a slow, to change over to vegan? Hang on.
Yeah. Was it a slow process?
Was it a slow process? You're good. No, you're on.
Okay, right.
There we go.
Was it a slow process? And how long was it before you actually started feeling better? From your original illness to
Yeah.
changing your diet, how long did it take?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. It was a slow process, and I think I hear now when I read back, and also I'm in like a lot of different groups, vegan groups that I kind of follow on Facebook and Instagram. I hear that question a lot, and a lot of people do get frustrated because it doesn't happen fast enough for them. But I guess for me, my focus was more on my health than the weight loss per se, because I wanted to eliminate all the stuff that was making me feel really crappy on a daily basis. And you get to a point where all the ailments that you feel, you kind of just live with them. You kind of just go and, well, this is how I'm going to be feeling, so might as well just go about my day. So yeah, but it was a slow process, and I had setbacks. I fell backwards a couple of times for sure, but you just got to dust yourself up and keep going because it's so worth it in the end to feel better. That was my main goal, not necessarily the weight loss. That was really just a bonus for me, but it took about, to see the major of my weight drop, like it was 3 years before, I think I would say about 10 pounds a year that I lost, so 3 years and I lost 30 pounds. That would be kind of be this picture right here. That's me after having lost 30 pounds. But the real transformation came once I actually went from a cooked vegan to a raw vegan. That's when I really noticed a big change and improvement in my health. Like the rest of my symptoms kind of dwindled away after going raw, and I lost another 50 pounds going raw. Yeah, that was amazing to me. Anyone else have questions? Yes?
Would you mind taking us through what would be your normal intake in a day, if that's not too hard, for the stabilization diet that you're on now?
For the raw?
Sure, whatever you eat now,
Okay.
on a daily basis. I'm very curious.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I make my own milk in the morning, and so I have hemp seed milk. I just mix hemp seeds with water and add some cinnamon and a pinch of, well, you can't really pinch it, but just a dash of maple syrup. And then I have that over fruit, bananas, blueberries, whatever frozen fruit we have on hand. That's my breakfast. And that kind of, I add chia seeds to that though too. I can't forget that because chia seeds are my number one for omegas and stuff, protein, yeah, all of that. And that pretty much takes me all the way through to about 2 in the afternoon. I don't feel hungry until then. And then I'll have either more fruit with some lettuce to sustain me until I get home after work and can make you know, a huge salad or a quinoa salad, and that's kind of mostly what I eat. And I drink a lot of water. A lot of water. Like at least a gallon a day. Yeah. Yes.
How do you get your protein?
The old protein debate. Well, chia seeds, for one, have a lot of protein. Lentils have a lot of protein. So there's no deficiency that you ever need to come across being vegan. That's another one of those big myths that is out there. Where do you get your protein? In fact, most people that aren't vegan eat actually way too much protein and the wrong kind of protein. And it just builds up and causes all kinds of other issues. Any other questions? Yes.
There's a lot of information that's out there about food combining, and especially like fruits with vegetables or, you know, other proteins and that kind of thing. How do you handle that?
Yeah, that was one of those things too that I had to figure out. That was quite interesting. Yeah, there's food combining is a big deal to some people because not everybody's system is the same. I did find out that when I ate fruit after something heavy or dense, then I got very gassy. And so that, you know, it said that you should eat something that's more water rich before you eat something that's dense so that you don't have that gas buildup, because water rich foods digest a lot quicker, and the dense foods like seeds, nuts, and lentils and all of that, they take a lot longer to digest in our system, and that's when you can avoid the buildup of gases in your system, then you won't be so gassy. Yeah. Anything else?
So when you are eating the lentils, are they sprouted lentils? Is that how you?
Best thing is to sprout them when you're eating raw. You know, cooked, obviously you're going to cook them, but yeah, when you're eating them raw, you sprout them so that they're easier digestible. Otherwise, your system has a hard time digesting them too, and it hurts. It can hurt.
There, that one? Number 2 all the way up. Yeah, there you go. Okay, since you are mostly raw, my question is regarding dehydrating, and how much of your diet do you eat dehydrated foods versus water-rich, fresh foods?
I have dehydrated. I don't do a lot of it, even though it is very tasty and adds a lot of extra excitement to one's food, but I don't eat a lot of dehydrated foods. I eat more water-rich foods just because hydration is a big key of keeping your body, you know, more rich and vital and strong. Dehydration kind of takes a little bit away from that because it has to hydrate the food, and then it can draw its nourishment from it. So that takes a little bit extra toll on the body. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, I don't know what else to say, but. Oh?
Is nuts and seeds part of your diet?
Is what? Nuts and seeds?
Yeah.
Yes, actually they are. When I was being coached, my food coach actually said no nuts, no avocados, and no seeds. Yes, seeds too. Well, I actually lumped them in with the nuts, but yeah. So that was a lot stricter, but it was all cooked food, and that's when I was still having all the issues that I still wanted to get rid of. But once I went raw vegan, you know, all of that kind of went away. I was able to pick up avocados and nuts again. But my nutritional coach said that for her experience, when you cut nuts and avocados and all of those fats out, then you don't have the cravings for fatty foods, so that you don't over consume them when you're trying to lose a lot of weight. That was her philosophy. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, Thomas?
Did you do any kind of detoxing to help aid in the transition, or did you just change your diet?
I did, but it took me a while to figure that one out.
What did you do for detoxing?
Well, I actually went and had a colonoscopy, and the
Colonics?
colonics. Thank you. Yes,
Colonics.
I had a colonics done, and then after that, it was enemas, and those help a lot in detoxing. That really gets rid of a lot of the buildup that you have, because our digestive system, when you're first starting out, is really backed up. So it's really good to do that to help start flowing things through.
So did you do that first?
I did that in the first 3 years, yeah.
So you feel like that was a bigger part of your transition to detox first and then change your
I
diet?
absolutely do. Yeah, it makes it, and actually I felt like that was a cleansing on many different levels, not just, in my digestive system. That also, in my opinion, for me, it was like a soul cleanse as well. It was kind of amazing. So I highly recommend that too when you're going through your journey.
Have you had any luck with juicing, raw juicing?
I have done that too, yeah. I've done a 4-day juice detoxing. I do that, yeah. That's also very beneficial to give I call that a solid food vacation. It's to give your digestive system a little bit of a break, and it also helps flush out a lot of toxins. Because we're bombarded with toxins every day.
Was that when you first started out, or is that?
No, that was
continuing
later
today?
on. Yeah, that was once I turned raw that I did those, mostly.
You do it mostly in the morning or at night?
I'm sorry, what?
Making the raw juices.
Morning.
Morning?
Morning, yeah. And then throughout the day a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Because I'm a firm believer in that the juice has to be fresh. And once it sits, it starts losing the enzymes and the availability of nutrients. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, I guess I'm just going to wrap this up then, because I don't know what else to convey to you. I hope that you took something away from this. And if not, I'm still here. You can come up to me and ask me. But for now, I'll say thank you for listening. And
Thank you, Gisela. I know this was very hard for her,
very.
and yet she did wonderful.
Yes. Thank you.
And I also want to just mention that a lot of times I have seen these people come in with, doctors, and they have all these degrees, and they've been very famous, and they've written all these books, and they share a lot of information with you, and we've had these doctors here, and various animal rights people, but the most important part, and I kept sharing this with her, is it's not necessarily the information, it's the inspiration that we need. We need information, but we need even more than the information to inspire us to change. And I'll never forget, many years ago, I was visiting a man that I bought a van from in Oahu, and I told him I help people with nutrition, and he was trying to make some changes in he was a big time surfer, real estate agent, and I told him, about some of the books I distribute, and he said I'd be very interested in seeing those. And so I went back to him, and he had mentioned, a certain time to bring him by, and I was getting ready to show them to him. He says, I don't need to see the books, I just want to know how much they are. And I've heard people say that all the time, and usually when you tell them the price, and they say, oh, well, I'm not interested anymore. And I said, well, don't you want to see them? I mean, this was just shocking to me. He says, I don't need to see them. I said, what do you mean you don't need to see them? Don't you want to look at something before you buy it? He said, I don't need to see them. I just know they're good because I can see what they've done for you. So he could see that I was healthy. And I said, how do you see that I'm healthy? He said, I just look in your eyes. The guy's very perceptive. And he says, you look healthy. So whatever these books are that you're following, you're learning this information is going to help me. So he never even saw the books, and he wanted to buy them. And I thought, that's amazing. You know, it taught me that the greatest thing that people really want is to be inspired, to change. And, you know, even if she didn't say anything, if she just got up here and you looked at this picture and this picture, you know, and I think she's probably even healthier than any of these pictures now. And, you know, that's, to me, inspiring. And that's one reason I asked her to speak several months ago. I think it was back in March or April. I asked her if she'd be willing to speak, and she was really hesitant, you know, and she didn't want to speak. And I said, well, you know, you can just share. She didn't even know what she'd say. And I said, you could just share your story. Actually, better than that, you could just be here. Because when you see a transformation like this, and she has energy and she's got her life back, that should be like the greatest advertisement for anything that we can take away from here. You know, is just seeing how healthy she looks. You know. Yeah, and she's got, you know, her smile radiates in her eyes, and you can tell she has life and energy, and she doesn't look sick. So, you know, this is what I wanted her just to come up here and even just, she just showed the pictures, you know. So go ahead and sit down. So anyway, I want to thank you, Gisela. And you don't always have to even say anything. You just have to show up, and people can just see, you know, the transformation. And I know, you know, you're seeing her now, but, you know, you look back and if you saw, wow, that's a big change, and you don't even know all the problems that she struggled with and suffered with for many, many years. And so this is what can happen to any of us if we start making healthier choices with our diet, you know. And most of you, I'm probably preaching to the choir, so most of you know most of this, but there's always people that are coming and, you know, they're in transition. And, you know, if nothing else, you know, she had a coach and she had a support system to help her. And I tell people that that's what we have here on Kauai. We have a support system to try to help us, to inspire us to live healthier, and you know, to inspire us to become who we can become. And we don't have to die of any disease. We can just die of old age. How many people today have that besides their on their death certificate that they died of old age? Probably 1 in 1,000, if that. But there's always some disease, some explanation of why they died, and it doesn't need to be that way. So I want to thank Gisela for being brave enough. And, you know, once you do it once, it's easier the next time. It is, you know. And so we wouldn't be opposed to having you come again and share with us. And by the way, that also is another plug for speakers, because we need more speakers. And I used to always think, well, we need to get somebody from Oahu that's speaking there and try to get the Vegetarian Society to pay for them to come over here. And I realized over the last 6 months that the best speakers we've had have been people right here in Kauai. The best talks, you know, Benjamin in April had an incredible talk, and I wish we'd have filmed that one, and Michelle as well in May, and you guys can watch Michelle's and also the one in June with John, who did the cooking demo right from Eat Healthy Restaurant. You can watch them on YouTube if you missed it, you know. So, you know, we don't have to go and spend all this money. The people that, you know, just to me that inspire me the most are not professionals. Yeah. They're just people that made the transition and decided they wanted to get their health back. And that's gives us hope, you know, rather than, oh, well, he's a doctor and he studied all this stuff and he's got all these degrees and he's written all these books. Of course, you know, that's his whole life. He's healthy. But what about just the average person? And, you know, they don't necessarily have any degrees. And so I'm not necessarily looking for speakers that, you know, even if they haven't spoken before, if they're just healthy, they have something to share with us, you know, because we want to have healthy people, you know, share their stories and share the information that's helped them to help us. So if you guys know of speakers, we have no one for November. Well, we might have someone for November, but we have a lady that Gerald knows and her husband that are health reformers. They do health talks, and she's written cookbooks, and she is coming here for 3 months. And so I don't know if she's going to speak in November or December or January, but she can also do cooking demos or whatever. And we're excited that she'll be here, and she already is willing to speak. We just don't know which month yet. But I have contacted her, and then do we have a lady named Sharon? I forgot her last name. She somehow found out about the Vegetarian Society, and she works in the area of nutrition, and she is also a chef, and she makes meals for people. And I don't fully understand all that she does, but she's speaking. She was supposed to speak actually today, but then she asked if she could change because we got messed up the last 2 months. She was actually supposed to speak in August. So we moved her up to October. So we have somebody in October. And she wanted to change because her son was in a race, what do you call that, rowing race in Big Island this weekend. And Gisela couldn't really do it in October because she had family coming in. So I said, well, maybe we'll just switch you to October. So she is going to do a cooking demo and also a talk. And we've already got her flyer done, and we're ahead this month. So we actually, because of the last 2 months, we've had cancellations. We already have the speakers for September and October. We don't have anybody from November, December, January, all the way, So if you guys can think of people that you think would be good speakers, and I've actually been told there are really good speakers on this island, people that are, pretty well known in the vegetarian community, but they haven't even come yet, and I haven't met them, but there's been people that have referred certain people. So I need your help, is what I'm saying. If we're going to have, people come, they need not just come here and watch a video, because they can watch a video at home, It's nicer to me anyway to see a live person and have them share with us. And it doesn't have to be an hour or 2 hours, just 40 minutes, It doesn't have to be a long talk. So if you guys think of anybody, please let me know. You can contact me through, what's that?
Or if they want to volunteer.
Yeah, and you might want to volunteer. I don't always have to ask people. Like I happened to just ask Gisela. I don't know if she would have volunteered, but it's better if I don't have to ask you. Because I don't have to put you on the spot. So one of the requirements from the Vegetarian Society is they want the person to be a vegan. And that's a whole nother, can of worms I don't want to get into, but, if you know somebody that's a vegan, then let me know so that we can start trying to line up people for November and December. And we're already 3/4 of the way through the year, so we're almost like, December will be here before you know it, and we usually do a holiday dinner, so last year we combined November and December into one big dinner, but we could do, kind of a Thanksgiving, Christmas in the first week of December, kind of a special dinner for both those holidays. So we did that last year, and so you can start thinking about that. We also have some materials. Some of them are free here at the table. If you need to contact me, or you want to get a hold of me, if you have any questions, concerns, or referrals, speakers, volunteers, whatever, just you can contact me through the VSH website, vsh.org. And my email is, I think, Kauai@vsh.org, but anyway, it's on there if you go to the website. There's a lot of information on the website. And the last thing I should say about our website is, if you haven't gone there yet, there is 20 years of videos of really good information from some of the best speakers around the world that you can watch under the media tab, and they go back like to the 90s, okay? And so there's every month a video is posted on there on the YouTube channel, and they put it on our website. So all the way back for several years, like 20 some years. And there's a lot of people that from around the world that watch those videos, and they even send in letters and tell us they've learned more in these videos than they have in their college education, So take advantage. It's a free resource, vsh.org, and there's recipes on there and all kinds of other stuff. And so anyway, that's that's all I have. If anybody has anything else to add or comments or questions, this is the time to do it. And feel free to stay and chat a little bit. We don't have to be out of here at any, I mean, it's only 6 o'clock, and usually we don't even end until 6:30, so we got done early. So if anybody has anything else to add, welcome to. No? If not, you're dismissed. You can go home. You can stay, help clean up. That would be wonderful. Or you can just fellowship with some people. So thank you for coming, and thank you for all the good food, and be blessed. Have a great rest of your Labor Day weekend.